Hey, this is Matt Wenning at WenningStrength.com, and today we're going to talk about the best rest periods for gains. Now, there's all kinds of theories behind this. I'm going to give you some examples of what we use at the facility, and then you can decide for yourself what's the best rest period. All right, so let's take a look at the classical 2 to 3 minutes rest. Now, in an ideal fashion, this is going to be better off for strength and power, having a little bit more rest in between, right? Not 60 seconds or 90 seconds, pushing it a little bit farther. This rest period is going to allow your sets to have possibly more quality, but at the end of the day, are you developing any general physical preparedness or fitness? And the answer, in my opinion, would be no. Now, the other problem with taking rest periods of 2 to 3 minutes on many or all of your exercises is that you're going to run out of time really, really fast. So if you read a lot of the manuals and things that we put out, I'm a huge proponent of trying to maintain workouts between 50 and 70 minutes. My thought process on that is you don't want to degrade your testosterone and start going into a cortisol state. Now, there's been a lot of different confusion on that, but in my opinion, the only people you can really measure on that are people that have been training for 20, 25 plus years. And trust me, I feel when about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes is there. And I know if I push past that, it just affects the next workout. And that leads to a big point. The point is that you need to guys start focusing on workout density. So 2 to 3 minutes on a handful of movements in each workout is not a bad idea, but for the entire workout might be a problem. Now, the next thing is doing things in circuits. So I have been popularized by doing Wenning warm-ups. Now, Wenning warm-ups do a couple of things. One, they attack weak points. So as you can see in these videos that we're showing right now, if I feel that most people's triceps and lats are deficient, we're going to do those to get ready for a bench press. But you'll notice that if you do these, or you've seen the manuals, or you've got online coaching, you'll notice that we don't do these with very much rest or any rest at all. And the real reason for that is I started to realize in the middle of my peaking of my career is that my fitness level had to rise for me to get stronger. Now, what that means is that if I shorten the rest periods down and keep the weights at a moderate range, which they should be anyway, for a warm-up, now I can develop conditioning or general physical preparedness. Now, what this does is it raises my work capacity and allows me to recover faster from workouts. So there's a lot of reasons why we do Wenning warm-ups, but one of those reasons is we cut the rest periods down a ton to increase conditioning or work capacity, which we find for a lot of people becomes a huge problem in the development of strength, power, or any other endeavor in the gym. How I first ran into this was back maybe 20 years ago. I was reading some articles about Vasily Alexiev and about Olympic lifting. Now, if anybody sees pictures of Vasily Alexiev, he didn't look like the fittest guy in the world. But there are articles from Medvedev and a couple other guys that are talking about him swinging a 50-pound kettlebell, like doing granny tosses and figure eights, for upwards of 10 to 15 minutes before he even touched an Olympic bar. That's impressive, weighing 330 to 350 pounds, right? His work capacity was out of control. And maybe, just maybe for you guys, that's why he had the longest lasting Olympic clean and jerk and snatch and total record ever. I think he hit that world record somewhere around 72, 74, and it held all the way until like 2013. Nobody touched it. So the point is that there is a secret to GPP. The reason that nobody wants to do it is because it's hard work. And at first, it might put your core lift at a deficiency. But remember, are you training or are you testing what you already have? That's another big question. The next thing that we have is cluster sets. Now, cluster sets are really weird and a lot of people don't use them. I think that they're beneficial. Now, cluster sets were brought back to me in my education level from Charles Poliquin. Now, cluster sets are where you would do a set of 8 or 10 and you only rest 30 seconds and got to complete another set of 8 or 10. These things are very, very hard. Cluster sets are very good for anabolic properties and build a lot of muscle. Now, are they great for power development? The answer is no. But for some of you guys that are trying to put on more muscle mass, cluster sets might be a viable tool to utilize because it's not letting you recover between sets, therefore potentially innervating more tissue as you push into those depleted states. So if I do 10 reps and it's like an 8 RPE or 80%, then I only rest 30 seconds. That same weight's going to turn into an 8.5 or a 9, and then the third set's going to turn into a 9.5 or a 10. So it's a way to get and innervate deeper tissue into not only neurological properties, but also hypertrophy properties. So if you're developing or needing more muscle mass in your particular sport or endeavor, don't neglect cluster sets. They can be huge. Now, there are a lot of different ways that you can build in rest periods. We talked about 3 major ones: 2 3-minute rest periods, no rest, doing things in a circuit, and then also doing something called a cluster set, which some of you guys may have never messed with. Now, here's the end point. The point is no rest period is good, and the body accommodates and adjusts to rest periods just like it does working out. What does this mean? This means if you're not constantly changing rest periods, you're not constantly changing the stimulus in which you're trying to train, the body is going to adjust to it, and therefore it's going to be a less of a potent stimulus. When is the time when you do something the most potent? The first time you do it. And that's why you have to start really calculating your workouts, your rest periods, and all these other things, and making sure that you're adjusting different types of modes, rest periods, and intensities in order for your body to have to adjust to different things. So if this interests you, join Patreon or grab a manual online. And if you just don't have time, then join online coaching, where we think about all this stuff for you and throw it out for you and make it all super simple to follow with the stuff that you have.